On behalf of everyone at WagerTalk Media, we would love to wish the legend himself, Mr. Dave Coken, a happy 68th birthday. Dave turned 68 on Wednesday, but in typical Vegas fashion, we're celebrating for a whole week. Until Sunday at midnight, you can celebrate with the legend himself by getting 10 days of Dave Coken's picks for only $68 by using coupon code LEGEND68 at WagerTalk.com. Happy birthday, Dave!
Teddy covers! Hockey time, baby! It's Wager Talk today. I'm the Prez. He's Teddy Covers, and a great show lined up. Dave Coken joining us. 2 college basketball games, Auburn versus Georgia. And then the Ole Miss game. Although I think I might have that wrong. He did make a change, and I thought I wrote it down, Teddy, but I messed up. And he's talking one hockey game, Montreal versus Toronto. Then, of course, Arthur DiCesare on, and we're going to get some actionable info from our bookmaking friend over at the LINQ. Ralph Michaels, in your big game breakdown, what's it going to be?
We're talking playoff football. We'll do a little Packers-Rams later in the show.
Excellent stuff. Lead story today, hockey, man. It's back. It's starting tonight. I know it doesn't excite you. Look, I get it, man. But for me and most of my fellow Canadians, we are absolutely stoked about hockey, and I'm going to give some bets out right off the bat. Teddy, futures market. We spoke about college football yesterday for the national championship next year, 3-1 for Alabama. Well, the Colorado Avalanche going into this season find themselves at plus 650 to win the Stanley Cup, and I think this team is light years ahead of any team in their division, that is for sure. And I think this team is going to win it all. I hate to take it, but the best player in hockey, Connor McDavid fans, I'm sorry, Nate McKinnon. They got Landeskog. They got a great goaltender in net. They got a lot of grit. Their defense is outstanding, and they are super hungry and focused. I'm taking the Avs at plus 650 to win the Stanley Cup.
So let me ask you this. So you talk about the Avs as a favorite, and clearly at plus 650, they're one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup this year. Any long shots that you think might be live, or teams that would offer value early in the season for bettors that might not be one of the chalk teams?
Yeah, I like Philadelphia. I think we saw Philadelphia take the next step last year. This is a team that has an incredible amount of grit. One of the best goaltenders in all of hockey, Hart. He's only 22 years old. They've got scoring, they've got defense, and this is a team that can play up and down to its competitors. We're going to see them win a lot of tight games against low-scoring teams, 2-1, 3-1, and I think they can also run with the big boys like the Leafs and Tampa Bay, Edmonton, and I think they could put up 5 goals if they need to as well. My short shot, if you will, is the Avs at plus 650, and my long shot, Philadelphia at plus 1,400. Rookie of the year, Teddy. I got to talk really quickly about that, and then we'll bring Dave Coken on. Stützle. Plus 900 for Rookie of the Year. And I spoke about this on Puck Time. You guys can watch that show, 11 a.m. Eastern. Andrew McGinnis, Carmine Bianco, and myself. The show's already up. It's on YouTube. Tim Stützle, he's playing for the Ottawa Senators. He is a flashy offensive wizard, and he's plus 900. Now, he has 2 competitors to win. Lafreniere, number 1 draft pick, plays for the New York Rangers, and Krill plays for the Minnesota Wild. And the bottom line here, Teddy, and we spoke a little bit about the Hart Trophy yesterday, and you asked, can a person win the MVP without making it to the playoffs? The answer is no. But a person can win Rookie of the Year on a losing team. Rookie of the Year is going to be given to the person who scores the most amount of points this year. And Stützle is going to find himself on an offensive, freewheeling Ottawa Senators team who's going to constantly be down, constantly be behind. He's gonna play open ice hockey. Whereas both Krill and Lafreniere play on very defensive-minded teams. Lafreniere is the third line forward for the Rangers this year. And Minnesota is not going to put a lot of pucks in the net. So just from that perspective alone, Stützle at plus 900 is a great value bet, my friend.
Well, I hope you cash. I can't speak
brother.
for him or against him.
Yeah, and one last thing really quick, because I made this bet about 5 minutes ago. Tonight's hockey game, I bet Tampa Bay minus 3 goals, plus 390 to beat the Chicago Blackhawks. Maybe Dave can add his thoughts in. Let's bring him in, Mr. Coken. Happy birthday, my brother. At your age, I don't know if you're still celebrating birthdays. My mom has a quote. She says, "What's the alternative?" So happy birthday. It is a privilege to spend your birthday with you. I did ask Joe Ranieri if he would sing happy birthday to you like you did to him, and he said no.
Well, you can tell I'm excited beyond words about my birthday.
Say that again?
No, you can't say a joke twice if it's not.
He said
Okay,
as
well,
dry
I
as he
am
could.
Screwed, okay?
As dry as he could. He goes, I'm
I-
excited as I can be about my birthday.
Yeah, why not, man? And look, you get to spend your birthday with Teddy and the Prez, 3 old guys. What better than that?
I can hardly contain myself.
We see, dude. We see. Let's get into it. Auburn versus Georgia. Georgia minus 1.5 tonight. What do you like in this game?
Sharif Cooper is now playing for Auburn. In his first game, they lost to Alabama, but they gave him a good game. And Cooper had, I think it was 26 points and nine assists. He only made 1 3-pointer. Those will start falling. This guy he can play. I mean, he's really good. And Georgia's not very good. I didn't bet the game because, well, I mean, Auburn's just playing lousy basketball. But the line's kind of a giveaway here to me, with Georgia being this cheap at home. Not that Georgia's much good, and they've lost 3 in a row. But as poorly as Auburn's been playing, 0-4 in the conference, 6-6 overall, you'd think they'd be getting 3 here, and they're not. And Cooper he's just an absolutely great young player for Auburn. He'll be the best player on the court tonight, without question. I lean Tigers. I didn't bet it. Came close to. I mean, I'm on 2 games tonight. This would be the 3rd game. I think you'll see Auburn start to turn things around to some extent now that they've got a potential superstar on the court. I'm not sure he'll be there past this year, but for the rest of this season, he'll be terrific.
So I want to ask you this about the college basketball betting marketplace. All right. In the NBA, when the stars come in and out of the lineup, the markets adjust like that. Oftentimes they over-adjust. Is that the same case in college hoops where the markets adjust immediately upon a player's return? Or is this one of those situations where maybe the markets haven't adjusted enough? They're more worried about Auburn's losing streak than they are about the talent on the court.
I think they adjusted pretty well. It's not going to be as dramatic as, say, LeBron James sitting out for the Lakers, which would be a huge adjustment in the line. But there's an adjustment made because, look, the books aren't unaware of the information, and they know there's some sharp players out there, and if they hang up a bad number, they're going to get taken advantage of. So, they did a good job here because certainly when this game I was looking at the schedule 2 days ago and looking at it, it's like, geez, I'm going to put a circle on Auburn there. And then they came out with a number and said, well, okay, they think the same thing I do. And it basically got me off the game. Yeah, I mean, not too much gets by the books these days.
Dave Coken, everybody, on a 7-2 all sports run, a 5-1 college basketball run. And let's move to the next college basketball game. Mississippi State minus 6.5 versus Texas A&M. What do you like in this one?
I like Mississippi State here. This actually did make my card. It's one of my 2 plays tonight. I have a best bet up on a big game between Texas Tech and Texas, and you can get that right now at WagerTalk. And if you get the birthday package, then you'll get everything I've got. But I did play this game, and I'm on the favorite. I think it's a good matchup for them. A&M is a poor shooting team, and they have to get their points in the paint for the most part. And Mississippi State defends the 2-point shot really well. The other problem is if you look at the turnover to assist ratio for A&M, it is ghastly the last few games. Their backcourt just isn't any good. And Buzz Williams is trying to do whatever he can to get things together, but it's been frustrating for him, and it just hasn't come together for Texas A&M. I don't think it's going to come together here for them. Again, it's not a matchup I like for them. I think while Mississippi State's not a great basketball team, I think it's certainly the type of opponent that they should do well against. So I laid the 6 here. I think it's going to 6.5, and I've got no problem with the Bulldogs in that spot.
Yeah, we're seeing some 7 starting to pop up on the WagerTalk live odds screen right now. And I want to ask you this as a general question for college hoops. Early in the season, the wise guy money's spot on, all right? And you really hesitate to bet against any of these line moves. At this stage of the campaign, is the sharp money as sharp as it's been? Are we still looking to back these moves? Because obviously the sharp money for this game coming on the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Well, I don't know, because I make no bets based on where the money's flowing. I couldn't care less what anybody's betting. If the sharp money was all that sharp, the books wouldn't be cleaning up, which they're doing. What I use that info for is to try and gauge when I can get the best number. And I'm no brag, just fact. I'm really good at that. If I could just pick where the line's going to go, and I'd hit 90%. Although in college football this season, COVID kind of screwed me up, and I ended up with some games where I had very poor closing line value. But if it's just capping where the line's going to go, I'm going to get that right almost every time. And that's why for instance, the 2 games that I bet today, there are times when I'll wait until the morning, and there are times when I'll try and get them up mid-evening at the latest. I don't want to put them up too late because then nobody can get the games. You know, who's up at 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. But I put up today's 2 games last night because I was quite sure that I'd get optimum numbers last night, and I did because I've got favorable value in both games. So that, again, I couldn't care less what the market's betting. I've always been, it's all about what I like. I just handicap myself, don't care what anybody else is playing.
Dave Coken, I see you're using your new chair, dude. Congratulations
I love
on
this
that.
chair. Good. It's
We
improved
spoke
my
about it
posture.
a few weeks ago.
I missed what you said. I'm sorry.
No, we spoke about it a few weeks ago, and nice to see you comfortable. It's got that PS4 kind of feel to it. Real youthful chair, Dave. Happy birthday again. Speaking of birthday, it's day 1 of the hockey season. We just did Puck Time. You're going to be on it a lot this year. So excited about hockey starting. 5 games tonight. One of the marquee matchups, especially in the Canadian market, Montreal versus the Leafs. And Montreal has had the Leafs number. They beat them every game last year. They've won 18 out of 25. The last 25 against the Leafs. Look, they made some pickups this year, Montreal. So did the Leafs. This should be a fun game to watch. Toronto minus 140. Where are you going here?
So I wanted to come up with some kind of a game plan for NHL. And by the way, it looks like I'll be on Puck Time probably Monday and Friday of each week. So you'll be getting plenty of information there. I decided that it's just been such a peculiar year. You know, last year with the bubble when the regular season ended, and this year just 56 games, really compact schedule, teams playing a lot of games in a short space. I decided that, sometimes you dive right in the deep end. I decided to wade into the shallow end at the outset this year, and I'm going to play very, very few games. I want to see what's going on. I'll just get my feet wet. I did make a play for tomorrow night. I did, as of now, not playing anything tonight. I want to get a look at these teams, but I do lean Montreal here. I'm buying the hype on the Canadians. I think this is a team that improved themselves in a couple of very big ways coming into the season. Number one, they got a very good number 2 goalie to give Carey Price some time off. Price was just amazing in the playoffs last year. But you don't want him playing 3/4 of the games. and Jake Allen is a good pickup. The other thing, and I talked about this constantly last year, was that the Canadians were, while pretty gifted in terms of speed, really small physically. And I thought that might get them in trouble. Actually, they played better in the playoffs than I thought they would. But they've gone about getting themselves a little more size this year. And I think it's really going to help this team. I think they're a legit contender. And I think they're going to battle Toronto for the top spot in this division. I would lean Canadians tonight. I think you're getting some value. I'm also impressed with what Toronto looks like going into the season. A lot of pressure on both these teams, by the way. And the Canadians coach is under tremendous, in my opinion, huge pressure, because if Montreal gets off to a slow start with all the expectations, he could be the first guy in the firing line. So big game, lean to Montreal, but didn't bet it, at least not yet.
Dave, Coken, everybody. Dave, thanks for joining us on your birthday. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day. It's a pleasure to have you always. We'll see you next week. Guys, we'll be right back. We got a ton more to discuss on the show. Teddy's 6Bs coming up. Arthur DiCesare, Ralph Michaels, a big game breakdown, and so much more. Dave, kill it tonight, my friend.
I think you're going to try it.
On behalf of everyone at WagerTalk Media, we would love to wish the legend himself, Mr. Dave Coken, a happy 68th birthday. Dave turned 68 on Wednesday, but in typical Vegas fashion, we're celebrating for a whole week. Until Sunday at midnight, you can celebrate with the legend himself by getting 10 days of Dave Coken's picks for only $68 by using coupon code LEGEND68 at WagerTalk.com. Happy birthday, Dave!
It's time for a little bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books. A recap of what happened in the betting world last night on a Tuesday. And there was one bad beat that stood out to me. Maybe there were more, but it wasn't a night with a ton of them. But, oh, goodness. The Kansas-Oklahoma State total bet from 143.5 up to 145. It's sitting at 143. 3 seconds left. It's staying under, but no, a steal and a run-out dunk just before the buzzer sounds. Oklahoma State wins 75-70. That was an under better. Ouch. Then again, college hoops, you're going to see plenty of games that come down to a half point here and a half point there. Every half point matters over the long term. Tough beat if you had under in that Kansas-Oklahoma State game last night. Bad bets? Well, let's see. The Miami Heat got COVID, so the Sixers got bet up, -4 to -9. And Embiid was playing for Philly, and Simmons was playing for Philly, but the Sixers roster isn't right. You know, they can't be laying that right now. Surely a bad bet, all that Philly money. The game went to overtime. Sixers won by 3. The books made out fairly well with the line move from -4 up to -9. More bad bets. They bet a Cavaliers game over last night. Utah got to 117. It still didn't get over 208.5. Cavs games don't go over. The markets found that out the hard way last night. They certainly haven't in early season play. In college hoops, there was Wisconsin money last night. They were bet down to +2.5 at some shops. You saw it. I saw it. Juwan Howard's Wolverines look good. They won by 23, and frankly, it wasn't even that close. Wisconsin, a bad bet. And there was Duke money, too. They were +1.5 at the open. They were -2 at the close at Virginia Tech. The Blue Devils lose that game by 7. More bad bets. When it comes for bad for the books, it's weird. These conferences, the books keep having a bad night in a specific conference. Monday was Missouri Valley. Last Thursday it was Pac-12. Last night, the books got burned in the MAC. The Ohio Bobcats, -7 up to -10 to beat Miami by 17. Kent bet up from -6 to -8 at Central. Michigan, they won the game over the Chippewas by 9, just getting there. All the Kent money cashes. Not a good rate result for the bookmakers. There you have it. A little Tuesday recap. Back to you, Prez.
Great stuff, Teddy. Love that segment. Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. John Hagan, Rara, Johnny K, Terry Edelman. Go Wild. I think they're going to be much better this year. Gordon Mathers, love having you with us. Adam, Sean, Irish John. I'm guessing he's Irish, Teddy, just going out on a limb. Lance Smith, Ardo, Jimmy. We love having you all. Can't thank you enough, guys. Hit that like button for us, please. Also, subscribe to our channel. We are at 67,000 subscribers, Teddy. Well on our way to 100,000. And a lot of these guys in the chat room are helping us, telling their friends, loving the show. It's so great to have them with us. Best part of my day, dude. And it's not you. It's literally hanging with the boys in the chat room. Guys, as we spoke about, NHL is starting tonight. So many great NHL handicappers at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Andrew McGinnis, Carmine Bianco, Dave Coken, myself, Buster Sports, Brian Leonard, Gianni does hockey, LV Chris, who's like a machine, does hockey. Guys, get $99 off of any of our season packages. Head over to WagerTalk or Sports Memo. Use the promo code NHL99. That's NHL99 for $99 off of our season package. That's a great deal. Hockey, I know it's one of those sports in America that kind of, well, it's just bet less from a volume perspective than any other of the major sports, but it is a sport that offers a ton of value. And follow me on Twitter at Prez Wager Talk. I will be tweeting out in-game hockey bets on a regular basis. Teddy covers. We're bringing in Arthur DiCesare, man. And like I said yesterday when Dave Sherapan was on, Arthur's the cool one. How are you, my friend? I did say that, Arthur. I don't know if you heard. I don't know if I said that more because you are so damn cool or just to get under Dave Sherapan's skin, or both. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I appreciate the compliment.
Oh, hey, look, I mean, come on. You are a cool cat, dude. I mean, most of our listeners would love to be professional bettors, but all of them would love to be professional bookmakers. We need some actionable info, and I'm going to get Teddy to drag it out of you.
I figured you were going to start with an NHL question, Prez, being that it's the open night of the NHL. Now's your chance to shine, brother.
Dude, I literally live under the spotlight. There is never a time to shine when you shine all the time. Okay, NHL. Arthur, what kind of volume are you getting in NHL? I mean, compared to college basketball, NBA, and obviously the footballs are way ahead of everything. It's got to be getting bigger and bigger, though. When I got into this industry 20 years ago, nobody touched NHL. Now it's becoming a thing, but where in the pecking order? It's still last, I'm sure, but by a lot.
No, you know what, Prez? It's definitely last, but it's grown. And listen, in Vegas, it's grown a lot. I mean, the nights are such a big deal here. We get a ton of night action. People bet the nights. Listen, the nights have become like, you go around town, everyone's got bumper stickers for the nights. Everyone's got night hats, night shirts. So the nights are a huge deal. I'm like you, Prez. I love the NHL. I know it's kind of a niche sport. As far as the betting goes, it's not going to get what the NBA gets or college football or March Madness or any of these things. I love the NHL, love betting the NHL. I think there's a ton of value with the NHL. And two actionable information games tonight, which I know you guys love. Two games that have moved. Colorado, which you touched on, going to be one of the favorites. Yep. They opened minus 135. They're now minus 145. So you've seen some Colorado money come in. And then Vancouver at Edmonton. Edmonton was minus 120. Now they're minus 135. So you've seen some money come in on the Oilers.
Arthur, I have a question, again, hockey related. Is there a sport that you guys lose more to the general public? Like, is there a sport that just offers more value to the bettors? And if so, I would assume it's hockey and baseball.
Yeah, Prez, I would say baseball. I think baseball is the one sport. Listen, NBA, NHL, they are day-to-day. Baseball is day-to-day. If you follow baseball on a 162-game schedule, I think you can really make money betting baseball because you can follow the bullpens, the pitchers, all that type of stuff. I think baseball is where you can get beat up as a book. But, it's not something, as that's going to be a big volume thing. It's, if you get beat up in the NFL or college football, you really get hurt for the year. So those are obviously the two sports you want to try to, kind of stay above water. But I do agree with you on the baseball. Listen, hockey, we can get beat up on nights games because night games see so much money. Night games just get pushed and pushed and pushed. Everyone bets the nights. So we can get beat up on nights games here and there.
So I want to ask a follow-up to that question specifically, because when you get quote unquote beat up, is there anyone you have to answer to? Do you have nasty meetings upstairs? Do the bean counters come in and yell and say you better change something? Or, I mean, how does that work from a sports book management versus casino management standpoint when the books have a rough time?
No, Teddy, there's no sort of, hey, we need to sit down and really discuss this, that, and the other. I mean, listen, we have guys, casino managers want to come over, the GM wants to come over. Hey, what's going on today? Where's the money? This, that, and there. But usually, I'd say 99 out of 100 times they're asking that. It has to relate with football. They're always saying, hey, where's the money this weekend? What do we need over here? This, that, and the other. You rarely get on a Tuesday a guy coming up saying, hey, what's the big NBA or college basketball or NHL type thing we're looking at? It's usually the football they're looking at.
Speaking of football, we have 4 football games for this weekend I'd like to discuss. And I want to know from a bookmaker standpoint where the action is, what the bettors need to be aware of, et cetera, et cetera. So let's start with the first game. That would be the Packers and the Rams. What line are you dealing and what kind of action are you seeing?
Yeah, right now in that we have Green Bay -6.5. Had Green Bay at -7. It's funny, though. There's a lot of concerns there for the Rams. The Rams quarterback issues, Donald. I mean, he's going to play. We know that. But, it's one of those things where the Rams defense travels. So I understand why people took them at 7. I understand it's Rodgers, it's Lambeau. But when you're getting 7 points with that defense, I understand why the money initially came in on the Rams. Now you got Green Bay under the touchdown. So you would think Green Bay is going to be in a lot of teasers, a lot of money lines, and you should see some Green Bay money coming in with it being under a touchdown now.
Arthur Caesar joining us, everybody, sportsbook manager from one of the best sports books on the Strip, the LINQ. Incredible hamburgers over there. Just a quick statement. Art, real quick, 4 games, all of them obviously big and important games. It's we're getting down to the wire here, but I got to assume Tampa Bay and New Orleans is taking a lot of action. 2 quick questions. Which game are you seeing the most amount of action on? And are you hearing anything from some really sharp bettors that you can give to the audience?
Yeah, Prez, I would say the Tampa New Orleans game and then Buffalo Ravens, seeing a lot of great action on that game as well. Tampa New Orleans, though. Tampa, we opened getting 4. It's now 3. That's got one of those games where these two teams have played each other twice. New Orleans won both games, covered both games. The last game they played, they destroyed Tampa. They made Tampa look terrible. There is a stat I did see where the team trying to go up 3-0 for the series, for the long haul in the season, in the last 21 games, they're 14-7. So they've won 66% of those games. I understand why Tampa took money. It was over the field goal. You were getting the 4. People like to bet on Brady. Brady's just the guy people bet on. Tampa's been hot. Offenses looked good. Listen, New Orleans is in the Dome. They're not going to have the fans and all that. This should be a really interesting game. I could see the game going either way. Total went up 2 points as well, so keep your eye on the total.
And what about the other 2 NFL games for this weekend? We have the Ravens and the Bills. We have the Browns and the Chiefs. Any early action worth noting for either of those 2 playoff games?
Yeah, Teddy, as I said about the Ravens and Bills, that's going to be a really nice bet game. We've seen some nice 2-way. Listen, we had Bills -2.5. It went to 2 for a second. It's back to 2.5. It's kind of been going back and forth here and there. The total really hasn't moved. Total's still sitting at 50. Chiefs-Browns game, crazy game. Chiefs have not covered 8 straight games, and they're laying the biggest number of the weekend, 10. The Browns, I really think the Browns emptied the tank last weekend. They finally handled Big Brother. The Steelers have owned them. They come out of the game with a ton of injuries. Offensive line is beat up. It is a big number to lay with Kansas City. We're going to have Kansas City tied to every teaser, every money line. People will bet the Browns because you're getting the 10 points. People are going to feel hey, let's just take the 10 points and see what happens because the Chiefs haven't, covered the 8 straight. I don't ever feel good betting against Patrick Mahomes, so I'm not going to be one of those guys.
We're talking here, of course, with Arthur DiCesare from the LINQ Sportsbook from the heart of the Las Vegas Strip at ArtDice21 on Twitter. He is an excellent follow. Again, at ArtDice21. Just a few minutes left with you, Art. I want to talk hoops for tonight, NBA and college. Have you seen anything that stands out when it comes to actual info? Where's the sharp money flowing in basketball action this morning?
Absolutely, Teddy. NBA, not so much. Really haven't seen anything crazy that I can give to the listeners. I will say 2 college basketball games that jumped out. NC State at Florida State. We had NC State minus 4.5. It's now Florida State minus 3.5. I'm sorry, it was Florida State minus 4.5. Now Florida State minus 3.5. So some money's come in on the Wolfpack. Interesting though. I like Florida State. I love their length. So if I'm getting Florida State at a shorter number, I feel good about Florida State. And then a really, really beautiful game tonight in the state of Texas. Texas Tech versus Texas. Texas has had a great season. They've kind of been under the radar. They're a top 5 team. We know how good Texas Tech's been with Chris Beard. Texas was minus 3. It's now minus 2. So some Texas Tech money has come in. I think that's more of a sharp move because people know how good the Texas Tech Raiders are.
Awesome stuff, Arthur DiCesare. We love having you on every Wednesday. At the bottom of the hour, Arthur DiCesare joins us. Guys, if you stop by the link, say hello to Arthur. Tell him you saw him on WagerTalk today. Brother, anything quick to promote?
I mean, listen, as always. And, it's funny, Prez, I've had multiple people come in and say hi to me, man. And it's, it's all because of this show. And I always say that's a credit to you guys. So, yeah, guys, just listen, come down, say hi to me at the LINQ. And I'm like you, Prez. I'm really excited for the NHL season. And I'm excited to see my young blue shirts actually do some stuff this year. So go Rangers.
Go Rangers. There you go. Lafreniere is going to be a monster, dude. He's going to start on the 3rd line, though, so it'll be interesting to see how he moves up. And Zabinajad, great bet on most goals this year. He's down like a huge dog, so a lot of value on him winning goal scoring, the Rocket Richard Trophy, if you will. Arthur DiCesare, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. Guys, quick commercial break, Teddy's big game breakdown, and of course, Ralph the Pen Michaels.
Right now, you can lock in 30 days of any NBA or college basketball plays, including 5% best bets released from your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper for just $6.63 per day. A 30-day NBA pass is priced at $189 and a 30-day college basketball pass at $189. But you can get both for only $199. To take advantage of this special offer, just go to WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, choose your favorite handicapper, and lock in all basketball action for the next 30 days. Even better, there's no limit to how many handicappers this offer can be redeemed on.
Welcome back to Wager Talk today. It's time for Big Game Breakdown. Let's talk some NFL playoff football. The Packers and the Rams. And this game is fascinating, side and total. Let me start with the total because here's a Packers team that just lost David Bakhtiari, who is the guy who protects Aaron Rodgers' blind side. All right. They have issues with Billy Turner and Rick Wagner, both of whom have been on and off the offensive line, neither of whom is 100% healthy. They just signed Jared Veldheer off the waiver wire. Now, we did the exact same thing last year and came in and played well. Veldheer for a playoff game for Green Bay. He played for Indy last week. They had him signed off the practice squad, which allows him to be a free agent this week, which is a fascinating scenario. Nonetheless, Packers' offensive line has issues. And one thing you don't necessarily want against the LA Rams is offensive line issues. Aaron Rodgers with a clean pocket is great. Aaron Rodgers, when he has to get the ball out of his hand quickly and Jalen Ramsey has his number one receiver locked down in Devontae Adams, and all of a sudden things get a little bit different for Green Bay offensively. We heard Arthur DiCesare talking about it earlier in the show, that he wasn't surprised that this Rams defense attracted some Rams money and some under money off the opener for this one. And it's a Green Bay team that spent all season, literally all season, looking to have a home game, the home field advantage in the playoffs. Sometimes when that happens, you get that week off and you exhale a little bit, it can be a concern for the Packers. So if I'm playing the game here, I understand the Rams have QB issues, but I also understand that the Rams match up really well, in theory, with Green Bay, with the pass rush, with the number one shutdown corner, and with the power rushing game that's been Green Bay's biggest defensive weakness in recent seasons. So my lean is under, and my lean is underdog. Haven't pulled the trigger on either yet. Might end up pulling the trigger on both. There you have it. Big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. President.
Great stuff, Teddy. And yeah, I love the Jalen Ramsey, Devontae Adams matchup. It's going to be fun to see because, man, Rodgers has just leaned on that wide receiver all year long. Guys, hit that like button for us, please. We're only at 89 likes, over 400 of you in the chat room. So offhand, just doing math really quickly, 311 of you have not hit the like button. Let's go, boys. Really would appreciate it. Let's bring in Ralph Michaels. Ralph, we're doubling up today, my friend. We got you now. We got you on the NFL presidential address at 4 p.m. Eastern. Let's get straight to it. What do you got?
Well, guys, the NBA stat sheet has started, and 2-0 to start, and I'm going to stick with it for the angles of the day. This is straight off the NBA stat sheet where there is a best bet included daily. The LA Lakers now 0-6 as an away favorite this season, going under by 12.1 points per game. OKC 3-6-1 over under this season. Their 2 home games the last couple weeks have both gone under. They've gone under by 27.1 points per game. So that's game 5-5-7 and 5-5-8. The Lakers and OKC under 212. That courtesy of the WagerTalk NBA stat sheet.
Yeah, I believe is that number 212. I think it's 217. Yeah, it's up to 218. Yeah, 218.
217 was on the screen. I just read it bad, Teddy. So it's up to 218, so even more value. And, again, I'm going to show you some numbers now, guys, that's going to show how many unders there are. So don't be afraid of these overline moves. Sorry, Teddy.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that when you talk about the Lakers 6-0 to the under as road favorites, that's meaningful, okay, when they're going under by double digits. That's a coach and a role that appears to be something that we're going to see. Lakers road chalk unders. When you see those type of trends early in the season, sometimes you can make money with them all year long.
And, guys, I talked about having some NFL numbers. Well, if you watch Bet on It today, I'll have my TNA segment there. I'll be talking about some NFL playoff numbers on the presidential address, and I will recap them all tomorrow and Friday here on this segment. So if you want some TNA, some trends and angles about the playoffs, make sure you check out both Thursday's and Friday's show here on WagerTalk Today. Guys, it's simply this. I just want to break down the NBA season. It's important. We talked about the home records. We talked about how away teams have been covering against the spread. It's important to keep updated where those numbers are. So I did a basic chart, guys. These are the NBA season-to-date records. Home teams are now 48.2%. So, Teddy, it caught up pretty quickly like we thought we would. But look at home teams against the spread, 43.8%. So that means if you blindly bet road teams, you are 56%. Look at those over-unders, guys. If you blindly bet unders this year, you are at 55.1%. So then I wanted to break down home teams between the threes. You see they're 43.8%. Well, that's exactly the same as the home record overall. So no anomalies there. But when we break down home favorites and home dogs in certain categories, You guys know my color coding by now. Take a look at home favorites, 39.1%. Obviously, that's a negative. When you have a home dog this year, does this surprise you, Teddy? When you have a home dog this year, we are 58.7% to the under.
It doesn't surprise me a ton, and that's the type of stat we would expect to even out as the season progresses. But the stat that really stands out to me was the home favorites being 20 games under 500 and cashing at the 39% clip. We know that it's been a dog year kind of in the NBA, although that's going to bounce around. But to see the home favorites perform that poorly, something to be aware of. And bettors should note, home court advantage in the NBA not close to what it's been in any recent season.
Joe, can we have the second part of that chart? Guys, I broke down small home favorites, small home dogs, home favorites of 5 or more, home favorites of 10 or more. So take a look at the very bottom. Double-digit home favorites, 12-0 straight up, 7-3-2 against the spread, and they've gone over the total. So let's take that equation out of it. You can see the other numbers. Look when you have a big home dog. Home dogs up to 4, small home dogs, Teddy and Prez, 15 and 15. Throw those out. So when we have a home dog of 5 or more, 10 overs, 20 unders, 66.7% to the under with a big home dog. And I did data mine one subset. I looked through all this data. I saw that big home favorites were good. I saw that home favorites of 1 or 2 were okay. So when you take NBA home favorites of 2 to 8.5, that's 6.5 point swing. They are 20 ATS wins, 46 ATS losses. They have only covered 30.7% of the time. So home favorites of 2 to 8.5 are a 69.7% fade. Yes, I am taking subsets, but it is something to keep an eye on.
Oh, well,
And
Michael.
it makes perfect sense in this season where the power ratings for a lot of the teams in the middle just haven't been set. So when you see a short favorite, they may well, if they played the game again now, they may well be short underdogs. The markets aren't confident in their numbers on the majority of the teams in the middle in the NBA right now. And Ralph's charts really show it.
I will post those guys on Twitter.
Let's get to
Prez,
Ralph play.
I'm going to take 30 seconds because I want people on my college basketball play today. I have a 5% loaded. It is my strongest bet that I've made personally this year, and we're selling it for half price. You get a college basketball 5% today for $20. You are still getting the full 150% WagerTalk bonus. There's no coupon needed. Just go to WagerTalk.com. Why did I do it? Simply this. It is that strong of a college basketball play. I want you on it so you can get it for $20. Again, WagerTalk.com. Friends of Ralph play 2-0 this week. Let's go to 3-0. You know I had to use NHL today. Andrew McGinnis. I loved his tweet last night. Just one more sleep before the NFL, like a little kid at Christmas. This is one of his actual plays to his clients today. Blackhawks, Lightnings, under 6.5. Andrew, it's refreshing to see how excited you are for the NFL. Prez, the same. I'm just becoming an NHL fan because I didn't have a team in Cleveland growing up. But obviously, the Golden Knights have made it exciting for me, and I'm starting to become an NHL fan. But to see the true enthusiasm, Prez, on your face, and Andrew and Carm, it is very, very refreshing.
Oh, yeah, baby. A sport that is in our blood. Guys, what a show, man. Everybody make sure to get Ralph's 5% play half price. Also, use the promo code NHL99 for $99 off of any of the NHL experts' full season packages. We are rolling now, boys. All the shows are in full swing. 11 a.m. Eastern puck time. Andrew McGinnis and Carm hosting. 12 p.m. Eastern, Wager Talk today. 1:15 today, college basketball show. 3:30 today, NBA show. We love you all. We can't thank you enough for joining us. Tomorrow's lineup, Ski Prophet, and Gianni the Greek. Teddy, take us home.
I want to thank Dave Coken. Wish him a happy birthday one more time. I want to thank Arthur DiCesare for joining us on the show today. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll be back again in 23 hours right here on WagerTalk Today.
Get $25 in WagerBucks added to your account after your first purchase at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. This is just our way of saying thank you for joining the WagerTalk and SportsMemo family.